What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week, Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Brian Altano, Vince Ingenito.
Scoop.
It's what we might call a slower news week here at IGN, but I've still managed to scrape together some interesting topics for us this week. We begin this week in
Japan.
And Street Fighter V. Vince, over the weekend was EVO.
Yes, it
and
was.
you were in attendance.
Sure did.
Big
That was in,
fighting game tournament.
Yeah.
Where was
in
that?
Las Vegas.
USA.
Actually, it was in Paris. the Paris in Las Vegas.
Oh, Paris, Las
Yeah.
Vegas. That's still in the USA.
USA.
India.
So Capcom used that event to release some news about their plans for Street Fighter V.
Yes. Or
Tiger. All right.
Yoga Flame.
Should we just go through the list, get them all out of the way?
Fire. Flame. USSR. China. Thailand.
I can't take
Japan. Okay. All right. We got that.
All right, so Street Fighter V.
Get it together, Vince. We need to give us the hot
Vince,
scoops.
we need you
Yes.
to give us the hot scoops on Street Fighter V.
I got you.
They have a different monetization plan for Street Fighter
Yeah,
V.
they're actually doing something completely different with Street Fighter V from 4. It's actually kind of crazy when you think of like Capcom's history. So the big knock some people like to throw at Capcom is like, oh, there's Super, Ultra, Turbo, Deluxe, Your Mom Edition,
Championship Edition. Your Mom
Sure.
Edition.
Didn't come to the States. But yeah, so I never thought that was too big of a deal, but I can see how some people might have, and they're kind of addressing that. So basically, you buy Street Fighter V on the first day, sometime this spring, 2016, and that's the last disc you ever have to buy. Basically, all balance updates, even big, huge, sweeping ones to the whole cast, that's going to be free. Whereas in Street Fighter 4, like Arcade Edition came out, huge, massive, sweeping balance changes to the whole cast. So if you wanted it, you would need to buy Arcade Edition. Otherwise, if you go online and try to play, you are literally not playing the same Street Fighter 4 as everyone else. Now, all those balance changes are just going to be free no matter what. Now, the other big thing, the really huge part of it, is they are, of course, going to add characters over the course of the game, just like they have with every Street Fighter game. But unlike other Street Fighter games where they've kind of packaged that all together in one bundle, hey, here's 4 new characters and some new features, pay $40, and there you go. Now it's going to be, they're going to add new characters kind of incrementally. They haven't said how they're going to do that, how often or frequently or how much. But the big thing, all those characters will be earnable for free with in-game currency called fight money, which is a reference to Balrog's lost quote, "My fight money." That. So yeah, so basically you earn fight money by playing. And you can use that fight money to buy the new characters. Now, if you don't want to grind out the fight money, you can just purchase it with their premium currency called Zenny.
It's just dollars.
It's just dollars. It's just dollars.
The premium,
Real money.
This crazy premium currency called
Zenny.
Yeah.
So
do we know? Did they announce prices? Like, our character's going to be $6 or $10?
they haven't gotten to that yet, and that's obviously kind of a key important part. Is that if it's unrealistic to grind this stuff and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to find this weird sweet spot where they obviously don't want to feel like they're giving away all this new content they're making, but at the same time, they can't make it so that you just play
10,000 matches and
right.
you'll learn T-Hawk.
Right? Yeah, they can't do that either. Right? It would be terrible.
Was he from Mortal Kombat? Who was the?
No, T-Hawk. You're right.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
Yeah, T-Hawk.
Both
is
games went
Street
through a
Fighter.
weird Native American phase because
Yeah.
there was the guy in
It
Mortal
was
Kombat
Night Wolf
too.
in Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
and then it's just Chief Thunder in Killer Instinct.
Ooh.
Yeah, all of them pretty racist.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
For being honest.
So to me, this seems like a significant departure from what Capcom has traditionally done with Street Fighter. Going all the way back to Street Fighter 2, there you had Super Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition.
Yep.
And ever since downloadable content became a thing, they've been selling downloadable add-ons for Street Fighter and other games too.
For every game, yeah.
And now they're saying just pay $60 and you're done. We don't want any more of your money. Keep the rest of your money. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Do you know what this reminds me of? The way video games always work
Yeah.
for the longest time.
Isn't that terrible that like Capcom comes out at their panel at EVO and they're like, everyone, we have an announcement to make. We're not going to take all your money. And everyone's like, yeah! Everyone stands up and claps like it's
so
this
happy.
huge deal. When you're right, it absolutely, totally.
That's just kind of. I mean, I grew up playing video games. Obviously, it's why I'm here. Why we're all here. And that was how it was when I was growing up. You bought a game, and then if you were good at it, you unlocked stuff in it.
Yeah.
Or if you played it for a long time, and you unlocked stuff in it, then you could use that stuff.
I mean, it reminds me of Dota and League of Legends, where that's very much the League of Legends model of we're going to launch with these characters, we're going to have a new one every few months, and you can buy it or you can earn it over time. And I wouldn't even be that surprised to see Capcom put, like, let's say when there's 10 DLC characters, whatever, put one of them on rotation for free. And go even farther down that MOBA sort of style.
Did Killer Instinct do that?
Killer
That was a little bit, but that game wasn't $60.
Right, it wasn't. It was free.
But they did do that.
Yeah, they did do that, absolutely. And they still have that going. The game was free, and you got Jago. You can just play with Jago, and then they put all the other characters on a free rotate. Actually, it started out with Jago, and then they actually made it now it's just a one free rotating character.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, the details will be exactly how much do you have to grind.
Sure.
Like, is it reasonable? Like, I play this game a little bit each evening, and then I get a free character every once in a while, or is it just going to be impossible unless you're, a crazy person?
Right.
Yeah, and even if the grinding is excessive or crazy, the reality is that fighting game players don't play an entire cast. Like when this past weekend at Evo, like Infiltration, who ended up being the champion.
You have like 2 or 3 fighters a year.
He was able to play 6 characters, and that's out of like a cast of over 40, and people are impressed with that. And that guy is an absolute master and a genius.
Pick a few mains.
Yeah. You pick maybe 2 or 3 characters realistically, and those are the characters you're going to learn. Maybe you change it up over time. The point is, like, even if they're going to start with 16 characters, even if they come out with a bunch of new characters and you think 1 or 2 of them are cool, that's only 1 or 2 that you have to earn or even buy. Even if they're a little bit expensive, what do they cost? Even if they cost, let's be crazy, $10 a character.
Yeah.
That would be nuts. But if you're only going to buy 1 or 2, then that's $20 you spent in addition to your $60 over the entire life of Street Fighter V, compared to Street Fighter 4, where you bought several $30 to $40 upgrades.
Well, right. That's like the comparison there. Let's say they are $10 a character, and they release 4 of them. They would have released 4 in a balance patch, and and a few other tweaks, and released it as Super Street Fighter V.
Right.
So it's really not that different.
It's not.
So even if the grind is a little bit ridiculous, it's like just doling out characters over time and committing to never doing a Street Fighter V Turbo. Like, it seems fine to me.
It makes me think, like, could you imagine if a sports game ever did this? People have been wanting this for the longest time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they were just like, we're not going to annualize this for a couple of years, and you're going to get this version, and then you can unlock player rosters if you're really good at it.
I've been saying for a long time that anything that's annualized like that should just have a subscription. Like, I pay $10 a month for Call of Duty, and once a year I get a new game, and I get all the DLC. And that probably works out to, like, I don't know, I haven't done the math of how many DLC packs there are, but
well, that would mean you're spending $120 a year on Call of Duty, but instead of just like the $60 a year you might buy if you just bought a game.
But if you also buy the DLC, I don't know what that adds up to.
Sure.
Like, if you're buying those $15 map packs and there's 4 of those, that's actually $120 a year.
I think they probably come out in the lead, and you might come out in the lead too. So I think that's a totally fair balance.
And that would be really, really good for like Madden or anything like that. Figure out some perks to build in the off season or whatever. Maybe have some fantasy football thing during the off season and charge just a subscription.
Street Fighter is one of those few games that is a worldwide phenomenon going on 20 plus years now. There are hardcore fans all over the world that don't identify as gamers, but they know and love Street Fighter. It's one of those few games that can do that. So, it seems about time to just make Street Fighter a service, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's exactly how they phrased it. They're like when I had my interview with them, when I spoke to them, when they first told me exactly how they're doing that, that was their first words to me. So Street Fighter V will be a service. They used that exact phrase. Yeah.
So why do you think they went with this change?
I think the reason they did it is because, as we go on in this generation of digital media and the modern age of gaming, where kind of the game is never done when it comes out, there's been so much back and forth across different publishers about how to do this the right way, and it's gotten to a point where gamers coming up now, it's a big part of why they do or do not buy a game, how it handles these things, how it handles DLC, how
post-release
it handles
content.
Yeah, post-release, how that's handled, and whether it's handled in a way that the consumer feels is ethical and fair, is because it's become a big deal. If you remember my Evolve review, there were a lot of people who were a little bit upset with me for not talking about some of the cosmetic DLC that was on offer for Evolve. For me, I was like, that's not even a thing I think about when I play a game, because cosmetic stuff I don't really care. But to a lot of people, the fact that there was this raw chunk of extra content that was already there at day one that they would have to pay for if they wanted it was really bothersome. So I think Capcom is realizing that the audience and the consumer base is changing, and they're starting to really care about these things. And you have to take a stance that is really consumer first. Otherwise, you're going to get kind of thrown under the bus, no matter how good your game is. And I think that really that's fueled a lot of why they made this decision.
Yeah, it's very smart.
I also wonder if Street Fighter is a game, again, like a Call of Duty or something that someone pays for once and then will play for 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
Unlike, I don't know, like an Uncharted or any other sort of single player game where you pay for it once and play it for 11 hours. And so Capcom wants to figure out some way to sort of unlock some value for themselves for the million people that are going to be playing this game for 5 years.
Right.
Instead of they pay $60 and they never give another cent to Capcom. And if they do it this way, have a game as a service and really sort of take care of your fans, and you'll have costumes and you'll have new DLC characters and you'll have that cosmetic stuff, and you can get $3 or $4 or $5 from people every few months or whatever it works out to be. Kind of maybe for life instead of kind of maybe getting nothing from them, or maybe managing to squeeze another 40 out of them when they buy a super version of a game.
It also does what Nintendo's always been sort of thriving for, which is like maintaining the value of a game and keeping you from trading it in, because they want to make sure that this is something that stays on your shelf for a long time. And I think you're less inclined to like just bring that down at GameStop and get $7 for it or whatever if you know that it's a growing living thing inside your PS4.
Wow.
That is sentient and taking over Japan.
But real quick, just what you're saying makes perfect sense, because one of the big problems is, and they outline this when you think about it, they outline this to me as well. They get someone who buys, you get something like Street Fighter 4, it sells millions and millions of copies. Super Street Fighter 4 comes out, fewer people buy it.
Yeah.
And then Arcade Edition comes out, and even fewer people buy it. You are essentially you're basically ensuring that anyone who bought Street Fighter 4 is going to stop playing it once that new version comes out, unless you give it to them for free, because a lot of the people aren't going to pay the money for it. So by doing this,
you'll have a unified player base.
They'll have a unified player base that sticks with the game, because they'll never. You can walk away from Street Fighter V for a year, log back in, and you are not left behind. Like, there may be new characters that you haven't seen yet, but you are not going to be playing a different game, and you're not going to feel like you have to spend extra money just to start playing the game again. It's very smart.
And that's important.
Yeah. So Street Fighter V due out next spring?
Yes, spring 2016.
What's your read on this game?
My read on how it is?
Yeah.
Big thumbs up right now. It's an excellent, excellent reinvention of the franchise and its fundamentals. Pros are happy with it. Casuals are happy with it right now. Right now, it's definitely in a space where everyone loves it. There's a couple of little minor balancy things that people would like to see maybe tweaked a tiny bit. Just really hardcore mechanical things. But other than that, everyone who's played it so far that I've talked to is surprised at how good it looks this early.
All right, moving on to another Japanese publisher, Square Enix. They just had an E3 press conference. You want to say it?
Japan!
They had an E3 press conference, which, despite some awkward moments, I think most Square Enix fans were happy with.
Yeah.
They showed off a lot of games, both like Western-style adventures, and then they also showed JRPGs.
Got the Kingdom Hearts.
They have Kingdom Hearts, which is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3, which is relevant to what we're about to talk about. Then it's a sequel to Nier, which not too many people were hoping for, I don't think. I know that game has its fans, but I don't think it sold particularly well. And then they announced the formation of Tokyo RPG Studio or Factory. I think that's what it is, Factory. And their first project is called Project Japanese name that starts with an S that escapes me at the moment, and that's expected sometime next year. So the president of Square Enix, Yosuke Matsuda, was recently talking to Japanese magazine Famitsu, talking about how it's his belief that a new IP, a new game series, can't really be judged until the third entry in its series. And I'll read you a quote here, and I'll tell you why this is a little surprising to me. He says, "This is my own personal view, but I believe that it is very difficult to immediately build up a big IP. Looking retrospectively at the gaming industry, many games take off or get their big break at their third title. There are cases where the opposite is true, of course, but regardless, you need at least 3 games before you can tell whether an IP is going to be really successful or not. I call this my law of third titles. That's why for the first and second games, you experiment to a degree where you can still be flexible, and if the series has grown enough to be able to expect a big hit for the third game, you expand the scale. If the third title is successful, then all is well." And so, working on their 15th core Final Fantasy game. They're obviously not sequel averse, but it's actually surprising to me that a big company would just say, okay, we're going to do 3 games of this new IP before because that's years and years and years and millions and millions and millions of dollars before they say, okay, this isn't working.
Yeah, but at the same time, that first burst of money spent is the riskiest.
That's true.
And it's like if you survive that, then it's about whether or not the meter is going up or the meter is going down, and it's kind of hard to tell that until you release the second game.
No, he's right. I mean, you look at games like Tetris 3, Minecraft 3, Angry Birds 3, definitely all games that did not at all get their footing until the 3rd iteration.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a weird quote.
It's a weird quote, and it's also expecting a lot of gamers to be like, you have to spend $180 until we get it right. It's kind of a weird barrier of entry.
Well, I mean, I almost see it as a side effect of it's kind of hard or almost impossible to do one-offs these days. Like it's like everything in the movie business has to be a cinematic universe now. There's a Ghostbusters cinematic universe with a team of people sculpting how it's going to branch out in these different directions. Because if you're going to put the money into that initial investment to, build a world like Halo or whatever, like you almost can't do that unless you're going to, reap that reward over a decade or 15 years. I don't think anybody builds a AAA game in mind without at least having some sort of sequel plan in the event that it's not a bomb. Okay, let's green light a sequel. Like
it totally works in, you talk about movies. I saw Ant-Man this weekend. If Ant-Man was just a standalone movie, I might be like, I don't know, but I'm like, I've seen all the other Marvel movies. He's going to be in Captain America, so okay, let's go see it.
I need to see Ant-Man to stay up to date with the MCU.
I have to see what the end credits sequences are, so I'm up to date with everything.
But you spend, I'm sure
Make it sound like homework.
It kind of is. Keeping up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is totally homework.
Very entertaining, fun homework.
Sure.
Like a Square Enix game is Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I'm sure that's a tremendously expensive, complex game to make, but less so than the first one, because I already made the first one.
You have all these assets. You have all
systems in place.
And so that's why, you would never make a game like Tomb Raider as a one-off anymore, unless it's a bomb, unless it doesn't go in the direction you plan. But they build it with sequels in mind, for sure.
You have to, because it's too expensive to make a game now. I mean, it's not 1980s anymore. It costs so many millions.
We got a crazy idea for a game. You're gonna be a frog and you're gonna leap across the thing.
It'll be fine.
That happens at Nintendo. And they might work on that game for 2 years and then it might not work and they'll be like, well.
Well, I think even Nintendo's like, we have a crazy idea for a game, and someone's like, cool, put Link in it. Or they come up
fine.
No, really, they come up with a great idea for a gameplay system, and then they adapt it to a character.
Or disappointingly, they're like, this could be a Metroid game.
Something like that. Exactly.
People criticize Nintendo for using Link and Mario, and these franchise characters over and over and over again. But you said it sort of as a jokey way, but it's totally true that they sell you on a new idea by putting a character you love in it. I don't necessarily see it as a negative. Nintendo has this stable of characters that you love. So look, we're gonna do this digital board game thing. It's gonna be called Mario Party. It's awesome. If that was just a bunch of characters you didn't give a shit about, that might not have been a big hit.
Sure, if it was called Mr. Ghostly's Vacuum House or whatever, where a guy has to walk around with a vacuum and clean up the house, people would be like, who the hell is this? But they're like, oh, Luigi's uncle gave him a mansion and now he has to stop ghosts. And you're like, oh, all right, well, I love that guy, so let's see what he's up to this year.
Exactly. So I think they do a good job of that, of leveraging their IP to, sort of backdoor new ideas into people's life.
And it's a smart business, and it's just smart from a business standpoint and from a marketing standpoint. I mean, like you said, that first game, what did you call Luigi's Mansion?
It's already gone.
Mr. Ghostly's
I also said vacuum,
vacuum. No, but like you said, a lot of people wouldn't have bought that game. And I mean, I happen to be one of those people who likes Luigi's Mansion. I think it's a solid game.
But everybody likes Luigi's Mansion.
Well, no, I think some people. Well, when it came out, it didn't get great reviews. But I mean, that's the kind of game that would have probably done even worse.
For sure.
Without people going, "Hey, I love this character."
But it's weird to me. You look at that game company, and they're not following this at all, right? They're making completely one-off experiences.
To be fair, though, it's not. Those games aren't on the same scale as a Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, they sell just as well, and they end up in our Game of the Year list. So it's maybe Square should try making a game like that. You know, you look at Journey, and it got re-released yesterday on PS4. But other than that, we're not getting Journey 2 or Journey Extended Edition or Game of the Year Edition or anything like that. It's not part of the Journey trilogy or the Journey cinematic universe.
It's been a long time since we've gotten a Square Enix downloadable game on consoles. That I can think of. They did some stuff for Xbox Live Arcade and PSN, but
Did they co-produce any of the Tomb Raider stuff?
Well, they have the license, so they must have put
Yeah.
those games out, and those games are good.
There is for all the hard time we give them on Gamescape and they get on the internet. Ubisoft actually does a good job of this, of balancing. Look, Assassin's Creed games are tremendously expensive. It's this giant like battleship that even when they realize they're screwing up, it's kind of hard for them to turn it. It's going to take 2 or 3 games to get it back on track.
But you're Shadow of Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's Child of Light and there's Valiant Hearts, and that stuff is also successful in its own right.
And the Raymans.
Totally.
And the Rayman.
The Raymans. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I would say like he's kind of onto something if you look at like Uncharted. I mean, it wasn't 3, but the second one was like, let's turn this game into something that's like significantly able to stand on its own feet.
Yeah.
And isn't just sort of like this weird mash between Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones. It is that, but confidently, you know.
Right.
Like Uncharted 2 nailed it, and I think it took a little bit of time, you know.
Is Sleeping Dogs still a Square Enix property?
I think so. Yes.
Because that's the only one of their, that's the only game in their stable I can think of that they haven't like announced a sequel.
Well,
that they're
try
trying
Is
to
that
build.
MMO?
Yeah, Triad Wars. We actually did a IGN live play of it today. It's an open world Sleeping Dogs, and this is not hyperbole, but the graphics legitimately do look like a PS3 game.
Yeah,
from top to bottom.
it's a bad looking game.
It's
It looks
actually
fun, but not.
It looks
pretty.
really fun. It was like it's jarring how last gen it is.
Well,
And
that's- yeah.
I thought like I'm never one of those people that's a graphics whore or whatever, but I looked at this game and I'm like, man, this. I hope this is a huge world to compensate for this, because
That's how I felt about Godzilla, the new
Right.
Godzilla game.
it's a bummer.
But it's not a huge world.
No, it's just that one.
It's just Japan.
Man.
All right, let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Remember, you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like Fabian did.
Fabian.
And he says, hey, panel.
Ooh.
I'd like to see a fighting game using celebrities as the fighters.
Ooh.
Not animated versions, actual video captures of the celebrities like they did on the first 4 Mortal Kombat games. High quality fight mechanics and real celebrities would make for a ridiculous yet fun game. Do you agree?
Was there a celebrity deathmatch
Yes,
video
I was
game?
gonna, first I
Was there a
gonna say,
game?
There, yes, there was.
This reminded me of Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah, there was a video game of that made of that
Man,
show.
I'd kind of forgotten about that
Yeah.
show, and they would do halftime specials.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like
Super Bowl.
claymation.
Yep,
Yeah.
animation.
It was
Marilyn
on
Manson.
MTV? It's on MTV?
I had this idea for
MTV.
I had an idea for an IGN video series for a while back, where every time there was a celebrity feud, we would make their Mii's and have them fight each other in Smash Brothers. So like
Yeah.
right now, Taylor Swift and Nicki Minaj are feuding,
Right.
and Meek Mill and Drake are feuding over who writes rap lyrics. Spoilers, none of them do. And we would just make them and put them in the game and let them battle each other out. Put it on like a high level with both PCs fight or both computer fighting each other. But that it's cartoony. I don't know how many
Yeah.
celebrities would be like, yeah, beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, so if you're having realistic video captured versions of the celebrities, that seems like a licensing nightmare.
Well,
to license the likeness
but
of
It's
all
been
these-
done,
What do you mean?
kind of.
In what?
Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the
And
weird.
it was probably the worst fighting game I've
That is
ever seen in my
such-
life.
The fact that exists is such a weird. It's such a walk to that, because it's like, okay, so there was a fighting game that they turned into a movie with actors that they turned back into a fighting game using digitized versions of those actors, which was their answer to Mortal Kombat, which is what Street Fighter was kind of originally before Mortal Kombat, when it was a cartoon game, and it sucked. Just like the movie, but unlike the original game.
What happened? And then let's take another level of that. The Saturn home console version was actually used the same graphics, but mechanically it was actually a completely different fighting game.
That's so weird.
Better or worse?
Better.
Okay.
Better. The Saturn version of Street Fighter the movie, the game, is actually a kind of okay fighting game.
That's really crazy. I don't know. Like, people complain about console parity nowadays, but back in the day, you would get a completely different game. Like Aladdin for Super Nintendo and Genesis, totally different games.
both
completely
very
different
good.
games.
Yes, both really good.
Crazy.
Mortal Kombat on Super Nintendo just
Yep.
doesn't have any blood.
Yep, that's
It
it.
has
On
no
the original.
blood.
2 though.
Yeah,
2
2
that up their game.
Manned up.
Yeah, I guess I kind of forgot how prevalent that used to be. You would really have to research, like, okay, I'm buying Symphony of the Night. Is the Saturn version gimped in some way? Should I just
Right.
get it on PS1?
Yep.
And it would be like, well, this game has.
Actually,
this
it was
game
usually
has.
the other way around.
Symphony of the Night came to Saturn?
It did in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there, you would end up you would end up in this situation where, like, well, this version has more characters, but this version has more levels. And you're like, well, fuck, like, what am I supposed to do? Like,
It sounds like today. If you pre-order from GameStop,
Now it's all
you get
pre-order
Magic Hat. If
bonuses.
you pre-order from Amazon, you get a new sword.
But I was
paints.
I was really into Beavis and Butthead, and I bought the Genesis game and I beat it. And then I went to my friend's house to play the Super Nintendo game, and I'm like, this is a completely different game. Like this is a platformer, and the other game was like kind of open world RPG.
Yeah,
so
I
I
did
went and
that.
bought that, and it was like I had 2 Beavis and Butthead games in 1 year.
I had a Bart Simpson Genesis game that was totally
Yeah.
different than the SNES games.
Did you ever play Street Fighter 20XX on NES?
That's like a
Yes,
side-scroller.
not a fighting game.
Side-scroller
Yep.
platformer.
I had a bunch of friends that were duped by that. They're like, oh, there's a new Street Fighter game, and it takes place in the future. Nope.
You're fighting in the streets. You are a Street
You are
Fighter.
a Street Fighter.
What if we found out that all the 20XXs were already years that happened already?
Yeah, no, that's a
It was like 2009 or whatever.
20.
that's been a feature we've been planning for a long time. Is like video game future predictions that ended up being wrong. Like they didn't put their like Mega Man already happened. And I'm like, no, we didn't.
Oh yeah.
There was no nuclear war in 20XX.
200X, I think it was, which
Yeah.
I think we've had already, right? That was probably
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few-
Anyway, a modern celebrity realistic fighting game.
Yeah.
That would be hard to pull off.
I don't know.
I think you
I don't
could
know.
do it, but you would only get rights to people like Pauly Shore.
Steven
You'd need to do it in a way.
Steven
Actually,
Dorff would 100% be down for that.
I think there is a mobile fighting game that's like parody versions of celebrities. So it's like Kit Kardashian, and
Yeah.
they like fight.
Yeah.
I think
people.
the team to do it would be NRS, and it'd be NetherRealm Studios, the creators of Mortal Kombat and Injustice, because their mobile games are actually they're super simplified versions of
okay,
fighting games, but they're totally okay and fun, and they do use like they have a WWE one. And like they take like these crazy riffs on like John Cena and The Undertaker, and they just go wild with it. It's actually kind of
Are
funny.
there licensed names in them?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's licensed by the WWE, and it's actually kind of cool. Like if they took that format and just like put random celebrities in it.
Yeah, I would play that.
I'd play
totally.
it.
It'd be the same celebrities that are on, Celebrity Fit Club and celebrity Donald Trump bullshit. Like it'd be all those celebrities. Whoever wants to sign up for those. Whoever got voted off Dancing with the Stars first. Their next step
Is to come to this game.
is to be on this game for sure.
Yeah. Y'all remember Pit Fighter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
oh,
Yeah.
God.
That was like the video capture fighting
Yep.
game that I liked.
Oh yeah. Jean-Claude Van
Settle
Damme.
down.
Whoa, he's
A pit fight.
Van Damme had like the double kick, the aerial double kick, and when you beat someone with it, like at the last, that was after the last hit, it was all slow mo, like
Yeah, that was one of the first games
sweat
where
comes
Look at
flying out of his
Vince's
face.
one of the first games I played where I realized that games could suck.
Oh yeah. Well,
You know, like there's always
you
that
never
first
played
game-
like an NES game that taught you that?
No, I played NES games that were bad that I didn't understand were bad because A, I was maybe too young, or B, like my friends got good at them because you just had that sort of like Stockholm syndrome of getting a bad game and then just playing it because it was all.
Oh
you had.
man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
I bought with my allowance money, and I was like, no, this game is good. This game, I'm happy with this purchase. This game's good.
Get out of my head, that's so crazy.
I talk about this probably once every 3 months on IGN, but Deadly Towers was my game. Where I was like, I was like, oh, it's like Zelda, and then I was like, I don't think this game is good. I don't understand it. And eventually, you grow up and you start talking to grown-ups like us, and they're just like, yeah, that game sucked. Do you remember that game? It was bad.
But that's like an interesting observation. Like I didn't really have a lot of concept of certain games being good or bad when I was little. I just played them all kind of equally, or I would play the good ones more, but I didn't really think about the other ones not being good or not liking them.
Because it was like video games. You're like, this is better than doing chores or
Better
like
than
going outside or whatever. This is awesome.
I didn't realize ET was bad until years later. I mean, I was a kid. I was like 4 years old when I played ET, and it frustrated me, and I couldn't get anywhere. But it was ET, so I assumed, well, it's ET. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, I love the movies.
I'm just bad at it. I thought to myself in my little 4-year-old brain, but it wasn't until later.
And then you grow up and people are like, oh, inside the making of the worst video game ever made. And like,
and then I was like, yeah,
I
that was
liked
pretty
it.
bad.
All right, now's the time on GameScoop when we play video game 20 questions.
All right, you got to get it together.
I don't have to tell you, I'm always bad at this. I will do everything I can. I got it. I think I got it last time. Then I screwed it up.
Vince, have you played this with us?
Yeah, I played it a couple times with you guys.
Okay. This week's suggestion comes from Aaron, one of our listeners, Aaron.
All right,
And
So are we
you
doing the?
may begin.
I know we.
we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down the line.
Oh, is that what we
You're all
do?
playing together.
We're all playing together, right? That's why I know you guys changed the format a little bit since last time I was.
Did this game originally come out before January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
The inaugural question,
All right.
as always. Okay.
Was this a console exclusive game?
Originally.
Okay.
Okay.
Was this originally exclusive to a Sega platform?
No.
Did this? Okay, so wait. Should we ask if it's multi-platform?
I think that was what I was trying to do.
It sounds to me from the answer that he gave that originally it was exclusive, but then it went multi-platform.
But console exclusive. But okay, so I'm confused. Does that mean
Screwed up. It's all over.
did it come to multiple consoles? So he said console exclusive.
Yeah.
And then you said Sega exclusive. But now I don't want to ask Nintendo exclusive in case it was multi-console. I'll just ask. Was it exclusive to a Nintendo console?
No.
Great.
Oh wait, so then I mean,
Yeah, it's multi. It came to multiple consoles.
So I screwed up.
Well, it's fine.
I said it's down a bad path.
no,
We're fine.
I don't know. Your original question. What was the wording of your question again?
Was it a console exclusive?
Was it a console?
And the answer was yes.
And the answer was yes at first.
At first, yes.
So it was originally at some point a console exclusive.
And then maybe it came to PC or something else.
So I mean,
I took that to mean my
what I should
interpretation.
have said was this exclusive to one console?
Yeah, my interpretation was that no, this was just a console game.
Okay,
This was
so
a
it's not a Nintendo game. It's not a Sega game.
exclusively.
Exclusively.
so does that mean it was a PC? It's a
My interpretation was this game only available on consoles?
See?
Right.
Yeah.
And I said yes.
Ask. Well, okay, I'll ask one, then you can. We'll skip back to you. Is this developer still in business?
Yes.
What about?
I'm just hanging out.
No, it was your turn.
bite my
I
tongue
went
for
out
a
of
second.
time.
Oh, you did. Okay,
Oh, we did actually skip you.
It's fine.
Whatever. We'll
power through it.
Yeah.
do it.
No, we got nothing. So
Yeah,
we know
okay.
the developer's in business. We know it was originally a console game.
Okay.
For a
questions are we in?
multi-console
Five?
game.
5.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
Okay.
Want to get into genre?
We got genre.
Yeah,
we got
so-
developer.
So
we
I'm
got.
gonna
Is there
go. I'm gonna go
smooching?
with.
That narrows it down.
Was the game played in a 2D side-scrolling format?
No.
Ooh.
Was the game originally made by a Japanese developer?
Yes. That's a pretty good question, actually. That narrows it down.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah, I mean,
Pre 2000.
pre-2000 console game.
Yeah.
Not a 2D side scroller. Actually, pre-2000. I've been picturing SNES, but it actually could be. We should probably narrow down the platform.
Is it not?
That's
so-
right.
Like we didn't ask Sony. We didn't
Oh
ask.
my god, we
like it
didn't.
could easily
That's
be
right.
PS1.
It could be a PS1 game. Yeah.
Ask if it's 3D.
I think we figured out it's 3D from your last one, right? Oh, because what do we figure out? That
We know that it's
Why
not
are we
2D
whispering?
Oh, we're whispering. No one can hear us. That's how this works.
We know it's not a 2D side scroller, but we don't know it's not. But that doesn't mean it's. I agree.
There's literally no secrets in this room.
I agree with Justin that we only covered
2D side
Sega.
scroller.
We should. It's Sega and Nintendo. We should see if it's a Sony game. I think.
Is it a Sony game?
Yes.
Oh snap!
All right.
Sony first party.
Yeah.
Is that?
Well,
That
would
did
narrow
you
it
interpret
down.
his question as did this game come to a PlayStation console?
Yes. Well, but also,
Are you gonna give us a freebie?
I have to stop giving interpretive questions.
it was published by Sony.
Okay. There we go.
Okay.
That was a bonus point right there.
Okay.
Y'all can thank me
You
later.
ask yours, and I got a good question.
okay. Let's see. It was published by Sony.
Yeah.
But it's not a Japanese developed game. You said
It is a Japanese.
Oh, it
developed
is.
Game.
It is. Okay.
Japanese developed game published by Sony.
Not a 2D side scroller.
Not a 2D side scroller. Not that there's a lot of those on the PS1 anyway.
Is it an RPG?
Yes.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh, damn, man.
That's a.
All right.
Oh god.
If it's published by Sony, I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
If it's Beyond the Beyond, I'm gonna be so mad. Or Vey,
Oh,
or
God,
one of
that's
those
funny.
one of those weird PS1 RPGs. Okay, RPG throws me off because I was gonna ask if you play as a vehicle of some kind.
No.
RPG. So PS1. What were first party PS1 RPGs?
So ask it. I mean, we can't guess, right?
Yeah, it's this
if we guess, that's
sudden
it.
death rules. So
yeah, but
if
we're
you guess wrong,
we're on a good path right now.
Yeah.
you're 9 questions.
I'm fairly certain I know what the game is, but
Well, you can say it to us. It's not an official guess.
got 11 more questions.
What do you think
I'm
it is?
pretty sure it's Legend of Dragoon.
Okay, how can we narrow that down in a way that might give us some information if it's not that?
I'm trying to think of other Sony published.
It's a party-based game. Did it have an overworld? Did it have? Who was the developer? I don't even remember.
That's a good question. I can't remember either. So I'm trying to think of other Sony published.
I remember Legend of Dragoon.
RPGs. Was Wild Arms published by Sony?
Yeah, see, that's all.
It was on Sony. I'm not sure if it was published by Sony.
Capcom. I honestly don't know.
I think Wild Arms might have been Capcom.
Okay, just think of a way to narrow down Legend of Dragoon. And we don't do letters of the alphabet. We decided that was cheating.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because you can actually use. We did the math. You can use like 6 questions to figure out what letter the game starts with.
Was the combat turn-based?
Yes. That's 10.
I don't even know what. I see now we're out of. I mean, I played a lot of those RPGs, but none of the Sony ones.
I'm totally cool with
7, 8, and 9.
piggybacking off of Vince's brand right now.
Legend of Dragoon was party-based, right?
Yes, it was.
Did it come on multiple discs? Is it one disc?
I'm racking my brain now for my retail days of packing this game up for customers and trying to remember if it was on multiple discs. I think it might have been on 2.
I know, it's weird.
I'm trying to think of anything else that we could throw at this were there.
See, we're in trouble because I played like all the Square Enix games from that era and like Suikoden and stuff, but not a lot of the Sony ones.
Right.
Like
so what happens if we make a guess and we're wrong?
We lose.
We just lose.
Death.
We just lose.
We lose.
Yeah. We got a lot of questions, right?
10 questions left.
Did it come on multiple discs?
Yes.
Yeah. We're still in there.
Did it feature dragoons?
Oh, okay. No. Was there?
I would allow that question.
Was there a very heavy crafting element to it?
No.
Are you thinking of like Star Ocean or something like that?
Yeah, I was trying to eliminate.
Okay.
possibility.
Is it a fantasy themed game?
I guess that's a gray area on how you.
It is. It would be, and it would be a gray area.
In Star Ocean?
I mean, define fantasy.
Man, I don't know. I don't even
in
know.
terms of the question.
Fantasy themed game?
No, because that's not Sony.
Do you in this game? Do you gain new skills through? Do you gain new skills and spells through like story events?
That's a weird and hard question.
I'm trying to rule out Wild Arms.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
Don't think so.
I think it's really. Did Sony publish Star Ocean too? In Star Ocean? Right?
No.
This is all fuzzy to
No,
me.
you know what? I think Star Ocean was published by might have been.
Right, and like Grandia's like Game Arts and all of that,
Right,
but
Game
it's hard
Arts,
to even sort that stuff out.
This is getting back into the weeds.
No, but the company. Okay, so the company's still in business. Well, because we found out it was Sony. Never mind.
Right.
We can't narrow down developer, but we don't remember who developed.
I don't remember who developed it. What are the other Sony published ones that you can think of? Beyond the Beyond, right?
Yeah, I mean, is there dragoons in this game?
I don't think so.
Well,
If there's an enemy called that in the game, I don't.
it's likely not Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, maybe not.
But I don't think Beyond the Beyond came on multiple discs. Like those were old.
No, Beyond the Beyond was one disc.
Yeah, those
Beyond
were
the
old
Beyond
school
was definitely
games.
one disc. So it's a Sony published multi-disc turn-based RPG.
What are you?
You guys are making me doubt something. I just need to double check.
Yeah, please do. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging out.
What are you working
Keep it going.
on?
Let's
What are you
keep it
working
going
on?
here.
Okay.
I'm doing this 20 questions thing.
I'll
right now
go-
that I'm doing really bad at. How about you?
You're doing fine.
Okay.
I'll go with this.
You come in, you clutch in at the last
At the
second.
last second. This is it's a team. This is
Would
a
it-
team effort.
Would it be categorized as a strategy RPG?
No.
Ooh,
No,
that's a
it is
good
not.
question.
Okay. So that rules out some things. So I was gonna say maybe Vandal Hearts. But no, it's not that. What do you think, Justin? Do you
Is
have
it-
a better guess?
Is it polygonal or is sprite based?
Polygonal.
I guess it's not or. Is it polygonal is the question. Okay. So that eliminates some of those really, really old ones too.
Yeah.
Like my memory is really fuzzy, but I remember like Vey and Beyond the Beyond being sprite based.
Yeah.
Right. For all my life, in Legend of Dragoon, like
But he said there's no Dragoons in it. Is there no Dragoons in Legend of Dragoon? Is that what's going to trip us up
I'm trying to remember
here?
if they technically called your characters Dragoons when they transformed.
Like I said, I never played that one, so.
All right, that's 16. I'm certain I've answered all of your questions correctly.
Okay, good.
Is there some sort of card trading or card system minigame? Is there any sort of cards in the game?
I don't think so.
That rules out Karsha,
All right, I don't know.
which I don't think was published by Sony and was also a strategy RPG. That was a good game, by the
Glad
way.
we ruled that card shit. I was worried.
Also,
Karsha was a good game.
Concept.
Right, Concept. I ruled out Concept as well.
All right,
Is it like Monopoly but fucking bullshit with monsters?
Oh my god, it is.
Concept's really good.
Oh, I love Concept, but those die rolls are bullshit.
Yeah, totally.
Totally, we're in the weeds here.
You have three questions left.
Bring us home, Vince.
Oh man, have we ever lost?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we lose often now.
We lose
We were
often.
on track like 8 questions in, and then we got in trouble.
I mean, I'm honestly.
So it eventually came to PC, is what it sounds like, or a different console.
Where do we ask that
could
question?
ask that
Did it
question.
eventually come to PC?
You're asking me, did it come to PC? Yes. Whoa. It's 18.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. This like we get in this situation. I'm like, I don't even want to play anymore
No,
because like I don't know.
Then
That's interesting.
just knock out your last two
This
questions.
is
Legend of Dragoon
once
definitely
again.
did not come
I'm
to.
not burning a question on this. I just want to ask you, Damon, personally. Are we going to be mad when you read off the answer?
That might be a hint.
Yeah, probably yes.
He's good. He's really good.
Now I'm racking my brain for what big dumb goofy PC boxes I saw on
Yeah.
the walls when I was there.
No, but I envision it coming to PC years later, like just it's on Steam now, like Final Fantasy VII's on Steam now.
Right.
You know, like that's what I'm picturing.
Okay, this is a
Yeah, bring her home. Bring her home. 2 left.
oh man, I don't know if I should waste a question on this.
We gotta fight through this.
We gotta get through it.
We're on.
You gotta do it.
Camera's rolling.
Is there a number in the title?
Yes.
Oh snap!
1 question left.
That's a good question. Why didn't we ask it? It's like always afterwards. We didn't ask if it was like a sequel or the first in a series.
So here's the thing that's going on in my brain right now.
Okay, lay it on me.
I'm wondering if I'm not remembering that through some weird licensing deal, if Sony published Final Fantasy VII in America.
I was hovering around that too.
I can't.
Because it did come to PC.
It did come to PC.
Were they even? I don't even remember the
And
era.
7 is a number.
They were already
Right.
Square. They were already Square Enix by then, right? Or no? I don't even remember when that.
It's
happened.
polygonal.
No,
They were still Square.
They were still SquareSoft at that point.
like the timeline in my head is all fuzzy.
Yeah, no,
I don't
they're still
remember when-
SquareSoft at that point. They're not Square
Yeah,
Enix yet.
SquareSoft
Do it.
might.
So
they might have-
SquareSoft.
they-
You know what? Because Nintendo published SquareSoft's SNES games.
Right. So do we want to
It's
do
as
this?
good a guess as any.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yes. Sony published Final Fantasy VII.
You know what's crazy? This is why you're really good at this. Because I always think this is going to be like one of the most. As these go on, they're going to get more and more obscure. And we went down that whole path of like, is it Card Boy?
I thought for sure this would be like the easiest one to guess in a long time.
The Sony thing tripped us up.
Yeah.
No, that was actually.
And then you guys had me second guessing myself. Like, did Sony not publish this?
Yeah.
game? Like, yeah.
No,
they
'cause
totally
no, it's a cool curveball because, like you said, eventually now Square as we know them now, they're Square Enix and they're self-contained development
Yep,
and publishing.
yep.
But they weren't.
Yeah.
I don't think that switchover. If you have your phone, do you have it on you? Did Sony also publish 8 and 9? I mean, I think that switchover happened right around.
might happen right
I'd have to
around
look.
there.
I'd have to look after
Yeah.
that. I don't know about
Cool.
this. Final Fantasy VII, you guys got it on the last question.
What
Finally brought it in.
a deep cut. A hard game to guess.
Yeah.
See, I'm not going to pick something that you guys would never guess or that you wouldn't know.
Yep.
So
Number in the title. That was good, Vince.
that was really good. We have time for one more this week. We're running
Oh God.
low on
Okay.
time this week.
All
It's
right,
gonna be a
let's
good
do
one.
it. We got this, guys.
This is one that I've picked on my own.
Brian O'Connell,
Clearing the table.
You're
Clearing the table.
participating in this.
This is gonna be the.
You're in. This is the moment.
This is gonna be
your
the
moment.
weird, obscure one.
Clearing the table. We
Okay.
may begin.
Was it released before January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Was
All right. Don't get all fancy pants on us.
was this game
Is it Card
originally
Boy?
was this game exclusive to one console?
Yes.
Ooh.
Is it an NES game?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is it a platforming game?
No.
No.
Yeah. No.
No.
Okay. I have a feeling you jump in it.
Back to the Future Part 2 and
platforms.
3.
God. Well, yeah, actually, that's a good question. Like, if we can get in the perspective of like top down or
Is it licensed?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into.
multiplayer.
Is it licensed? Is it first party?
So it's exclusive to the NES, and it is not a platforming game.
You look so unsure about
it's-
platforming.
Not a platforming game.
It's kind of a not platforming game.
Like,
cool.
I don't know. Like
Contra's not a platforming game.
Yeah,
but it
Castlevania
kind of
2 is like
Right,
kind of sort of.
So hold it because of that actually because of the era it might be we got the era so early and the what do you call it the
Yeah,
console.
sure.
Let's rule out some developers.
If you ask if it's a first party.
is this a Konami game?
No.
Is this developer still in business?
Yes.
Is it a first party game?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. So a first party non-platformer on the NES.
First party non-platformer on the NES, but
Star
kind
Tropics.
but kind of a platformer because he was like.
Yeah, but it's not a platformer. I mean, ultimately, it's not a platformer.
Okay. So
Is Wrecking Crew a platformer?
no, you don't jump in that game. You just climb ladders. And wreck crews.
So how many wreck stuff? How many first party NES games are there that aren't platformers?
Not a lot.
RC Pro-Am wasn't first. Rare wasn't first party.
Right,
by
Rare
then.
wasn't.
Yeah, there's a couple puzzle games, but those aren't. No, not a platformer, like what Damon said.
Right.
So there's Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
There's what was the one I said before? Star Tropics.
I mean, there's like Donkey Kong Jr.
There's Zelda.
Zelda 2 is not technically a platformer.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Zelda 2 is actually a pretty good guess because
All right. Is it like a franchise? Are we still playing games that star this character, this franchise today? With that in the title
Today,
on this generation
Like,
of consoles.
in this generation of consoles, today, no.
Was there a Zelda game in this generation
no,
of
it was
consoles?
Wind Waker HD.
Guys, this is not my guess, so it's Metroid.
Okay, that's a pretty
It's
good.
not a platformer,
It's a pretty good guess.
but
You ask if it's sci-fi. If it
What do you
stars
mean Metroid's a platformer?
it's not a platformer. 'cause
No, it's
also-
totally a
There's
platformer.
platforming in it, but it's also an adventure action game.
It is. Yeah.
Can you think of another Nintendo game?
I would
that's kind of a
personally,
platformer.
I would
but not?
call Metroid a platformer. Personally.
Yeah, me too.
So I would. I kind
Same
of
with
would too.
Kid Icarus. Same with.
Oh right, Kid Icarus is another kind of like. I mean, it is still a platformer, but
I think it's a total.
Are we
platformer.
reading
Zelda,
into this whole-
Zelda 2 is not a platformer.
Well, let's figure out other stuff you do in this game. We know what you don't, what you
Okay.
might do,
All right, here you go.
sort of a little. but
do you how's this?
Do you shoot things?
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Do you shoot? Can you shoot things? in
No.
this game? You can't. Okay, so definitely not.
Do you have a
or
sword?
Kid Icarus?
No.
okay,
That's
Nope.
10.
that's
It's
10.
not Zelda 2. It's not Metroid.
No
Yeah.
swords.
It's not Kid
no
Icarus
projectile
because you shoot
weapons.
things in Kid Icarus.
Right.
You shoot arrows.
So there's no swords, no projectile
Let's
weapons.
think. Other first-party games.
There's still Wrecking Crew.
There's still Wrecking Crew,
Hey,
but that's not even has no platforming elements.
Wario's Woods.
does
That's a puzzle game.
a character from this game feature in the new Super Smash Brothers?
That's a great question.
I can't answer that just because, I mean, seemingly every.
As one of the fighters.
No.
Okay, so it's not Punch Out or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, wait, what fighter is in Punch Out or what?
Little Mac.
Little Mac.
Is
Oh,
in,
yeah, duh.
is in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
Get the toy out your desk.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man.
Wow, this is surprisingly tough.
Wrecking Crew is still in the mix.
Yeah.
Do you?
It is.
This is a construction
Justin
theme.
is obsessed with Wrecking Crew.
I'm just trying to. Duck Hunt.
Do you want to?
Going-
You can play Duck Hunt Dog.
Not even remotely.
But you shoot things in that.
Yeah, and Duck Hunt Dog's playable. Is
And
there
you do shoot
multiplayer?
Ooh.
No.
Oh, it's a single player game.
Okay. Single player, no shooting.
I think even Wrecking Crew has a
Two-player.
two-player mode, right?
So it's not Wrecking Crew, guys.
Wait, hold it. Not a platformer. You don't shoot things. You don't have a sword. What?
Puzzle game.
Is it a puzzle game?
No.
Oh my god.
RPG.
How many questions
There
is
goes
that?
Wario Woods.
It goes Wario's Woods. There goes Yoshi's Cookie.
Yeah, it goes Yoshi's Cookie.
Yeah. Dr. Mario's out.
Dr. Mario's out.
Damn it.
Tetris is out.
This is really tough.
Is it an RPG?
That's your question?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No Star Tropics.
Were there any first party?
No.
Star Tropics. Is that first party?
No.
No? Nintendo didn't make Star Tropics?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
feel like maybe they published that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. This is getting dire, guys.
Yeah.
This is getting really dire.
I feel like I should know this.
The Damon picked this one too.
Yeah.
Is there an amiibo related to this? Is that a good question?
No, because
that
if he's not a Smash Brothers character, it's not a Smash Brothers character, then I doubt it.
Okay.
Then not a mainline playable Smash Brothers
Wait,
character.
what were Damon's answers when we asked if the character was still around?
Not this generation, apparently.
But so it's like F-Zero hadn't started yet.
F-Zero is not.
F-Zero hadn't started yet.
Nope.
But that's like thinking about stuff like that's important because you want to think about something that did appear in other games.
Okay.
down the line.
Like something that was around for a while, but then
what about
stopped?
Are there? Well, here, I got one. Here's this weird. Are there motorcycles in it?
Yes.
Nice!
Yes, it is.
Nice work! Wow, that was awesome!
Excite Bike.
You're right, not a platformer. You do jump on
But there's
shit.
like lots of like crazy like jumping around on platforms and stuff. Yeah.
That's really good. And we saw there was Excite Bike 64. There wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
man!
Excite
You know what's interesting too? Like there was an Excite Bike Mario Kart stage. This generation.
Yeah. Oh, so I didn't know about that.
That's
fine.
But that's totally fine because it's not a standalone Excite Bike game.
It's a 1985 launch title for the NES.
Yep,
And
that's right.
I was surprised to remember there's not any multiplayer. It's like, that's weird.
Oh
Racing
yeah,
game
that's
with no
right. That's
multiplayer.
right.
When we were doing History of Awesome, that was one of the things we learned is like Excite Bike was a launch game, but Mario wasn't. So there's this period of like, it's a while. It's like almost a year that people could have an NES with no Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's
What are they
weird. Yeah, it's very, they robbed the robot. Like,
Yep.
I remember that.
Well, they played Mario Brothers, right? Like the weird Mario Brothers.
I guess,
with Mario
yeah.
and Luigi jumping
Before-
on
I like that
those
game.
things.
That's a fun
Yeah,
game.
I do like
That's
it
cool.
for what it is. Yeah.
Man, that was a great one.
That was awesome.
Thank you. See, I wanted to do another one because I knew you would be involved in an NES game.
no, that's a little better for me than. Although Final Fantasy VII, I totally could have gotten.
Yeah, but it's so funny how the vagary of like the fact that the business realities of Square have changed.
Yeah.
No, it just made that a curveball for us.
The problem with this game is not this game; it is your own mind because your mind sends you down these paths
Yeah.
where you're just like, I know it's one of these things. Like I'm thinking, like, is it Solomon's Key? And I'm like, it's like, no, it's Excite Bike. They could not be more opposite. You
Did
know, like,
Nintendo make Mighty Bomb Jack?
exactly.
That's the thing. I'm starting to think about all these weird NES games. I'm like,
And when you're a kid, you think every game is made by Nintendo?
Yeah.
Man, it's a good one.
You guys,
really good.
you guys both of them this week. So.
Sweet.
Well done. That's all the scoops we have for this week. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Vince. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com. My name is Damon. This is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out.
Japan.